notice I only said
Did you
that
hear
to
what you just said to me?
Yes.
Girls are ready.
Mhm.
3, 2.
Welcome to 614Fempreneur. I am Michael Cheney, and I am here with the one and only
Jen Kessel-White. Hey,
Yeah.
Michael, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Jen here, your favorite real estate agent for Columbus.
That's right.
A real estate investor and a female entrepreneur advocate.
You know
Also,
it.
all around girl boss, right?
You know it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a pretty important topic. At least it was an important topic for me when I started my business, and I think this conversation might be able to help folks who are thinking about starting a business, not really sure where to start, not really sure how the heck they're going to get clients, because we're going to talk about some of the things that we've done, especially in the beginning, to get clients.
Right. So if you're afraid about starting your own business because you don't know how you're going to get the clients, we're basically telling you, hey, everyone has that fear. Now let's see if we can give you some tips and tricks to conquer it.
Right on, right on. So why is that a fear, though?
So I think that for me, when I first started especially, you are going into a new business where people have to gain trust with you. And everybody that knows you has known that you did a particular thing or very many things depending
Right.
on what your job experience is. So why would they all of a sudden feel confident to say, hey, you know what? As example for real estate, my biggest purchase in life is going to be something that I'm going to give to somebody who is new.
Right.
Depending on your business. I mean, for your painting business, it is super expensive to get, well, it's a very good investment, but super expensive to get your house painted.
Totally.
So then they're just going to say, hey, Michael, I see you just opened a painting business. It's a good day for me to
Right on.
roll the dice.
So definitely there's a piece there that you have to establish trust once you get your client.
Right.
And even being able to get that client, that first client. I mean, I remember when I first started this painting business, it was really a side hustle. I mean, trust me, I've painted for my family, for my mom, for my mom's friends. It's like in the beginning, you kind of might have to reach, and everybody you know, really it's those people that care about you are willing to give you a shot. Do you think there's anything wrong with starting out by getting clients by going through the people you already know?
No.
Did you do that?
Do that all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, and I know you're laughing because I always say do that.
That's your
it's,
phrase.
It's
do
my
that.
motto. Do
I
that.
like it.
I always say it. You should, but
T-shirt worthy, I think.
I just want all the t-shirts. Okay, so I think that if you get clients from whoever is willing to give you a chance, of course you would never turn that down. There's so many different ways to gain clients, and then after that we're going to talk about retaining them too,
Right,
because
right.
that's super important. There can't be anything better in this world than referral-based business.
Totally.
You know, so did you do anything weird in the beginning of your career?
Well, I did. I mean, I said how I kind of went through my friends and family. The other thing that I had done, now I did this a little bit after I got some confidence and I felt like I knew what I was doing, but one of the things I did was I wrote letters to like small construction companies that did like home remodeling or light commercial work. I would send them letters with my business card and I would just ask them, can I bid on your projects?
Right.
That's one thing I did. In addition to that, I would also then show up at their office and say, hey, I sent you a letter of this,
I
this,
love
and that.
it.
Now, I'll tell you what, it was super intimidating.
Follow up, right?
And, like, you know enough about me to know that I'm straight up introvert. Going into a construction office where it's primarily males that are in there, I had to just, like, suck it up and do it. And I think when you're getting started, that's the thing you have to do is just suck it up and do it. You have to do the things that you're uncomfortable doing.
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right?
Totally, right?
That's the only way you're going to make it.
It is, and like you have to do all of that when you don't necessarily have the confidence, you don't 100% know what you're doing. But I developed some relationships that way, and in the painting world, it's kind of weird because those relationships can take years to develop. I mean, there was one company that I wanted to work for, and I would write them, and I would stop in, and I just thought, if I can work for them, then I've gotten somewhere. And it took me a couple years, and we started working for them.
Oh, that's amazing. See?
And then it turned out, you know what? After I started working for them, I didn't want to work for them anymore.
Right. Okay.
But the idea is that, you know, you don't necessarily know what you're getting into, but you're willing to do it.
Persistence.
You're being persistent. You're the phrase that you've coined that I like is, how's it go? It's not fake it till you make it.
It's make it while you fake
Make it while you fake it.
Another t-shirt. Do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's getting out of your comfort zone and doing things that you don't necessarily want to do or you feel uncomfortable doing, but that's what you have to do. And I know that you've done things like that when it comes to real estate. You've probably even done that and stretched yourself when you were getting into real estate investing.
Yeah. So by the time there's a house that's on the market for real estate investing, it's probably a little bit too late. It usually doesn't happen like that. You really want to find them when nobody else knows about them. So I did a lot of mailers and spent time and a lot of follow-up, especially with my current property. It is a lovely lady who I visited with multiple times and then finally had the opportunity to purchase her house. But after the first time when she decided she wasn't going to sell, after that I kind of just went back there to hang out with her because she was great. Just like, you know, a very, very awesome older woman who had been in her house for a very long time and took a lot of pride in it. But she had wonderful stories, and at this point I just liked being with her. So I did that a lot. And another thing too that was really important is just very much so becoming uncomfortable with the word no. Because that happens, or becoming comfortable with the word no. It happens to me a ton of times.
Right.
So statistically, you're probably going to get a yes. Just keep on giving me no's. Eventually, right? I like numbers, yeah. And I'm like, there's got to be a yes coming. I feel it.
Well, that's the thing. You might get those 10 no's. That one yes could be the yes that changes everything for you.
For sure. Everybody does things that you're uncomfortable with. I've sent out mailers, and that's something, different types of businesses are going to have different things that will work out better for them. But for me, a lot of my I got a lot of courage when I started door knocking, because it really was the most uncomfortable thing someone can do.
Totally.
And after that, I was just like, well, I think I've got to that range now. Doing a couple of other random things doesn't seem so bad,
Right. So it's like you have to do the things you're uncomfortable with. It kind of also reminds me of social media. So I have, like for the painting business, we get a good amount of work from Facebook, which is awesome. But I'm not like you. I'm not a social media guru. I don't have my Instagram live going on right now.
Yeah, Instagram live.
I can't even say it right.
At Welcome Home 614, follow me.
But I'll tell you what, like even just me creating a Facebook page for No Drip Painting and posting pictures was like so hard for me. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like I didn't even want to put myself out there in a picture. I'm not in the picture, but I didn't even want to put myself out there.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
I know it's crazy.
Are you in any of your No Drip Painting pictures?
Rarely.
We're going to do a video on your Facebook.
Okay.
We're just going to have to do that, okay? Because again, we're giving advice on getting yourself comfortable with doing things you don't want to do. So that's good. That's happening.
And I will do it. And that's the thing is what this business has taught me and what I've gotten better at is doing things I'm uncomfortable with. Posting my first Facebook post, as crazy as it sounds, I was just unsure. I didn't necessarily want to be judged by my pictures or whatever. But the point is that you do it. You make that first post, you do it over and over and over again. And then for me, several years later, that's one of my big business drivers.
Don't you feel like your concern was providing valuable content?
Totally.
Okay, so get that thought out of your mind.
Yeah. I think it's a couple things. For me, it was providing valuable content. Does anybody really want to see this?
Yeah.
And then in the beginning stages, I think for a business owner that's trying to get started, you are unsure about whether you're doing things right. You don't necessarily have all the knowledge, right? You're starting out, you don't know if you're doing things right. I mean, I learned the whole painting business. I didn't just, wake up one day and have all the information. I was a decent painter. That's where I started. So for me, even just being judged by what I'm doing, especially, you wouldn't believe in the painting world, you put a post out there about a process to do things, you will have people getting on there saying, no, that's not the right way to do it. So that fear,
but also if they're taking time out of their day to talk to you about their opinion and then they're just wanting, that's engagement, right?
Totally.
So that's why I'm like, I don't care about content. I don't care what the value is anymore, when before I was so nervous about it.
Right.
Because instead you're just putting stuff out there, and eventually something's going to click, and then you'll learn, like, that worked or this didn't.
Totally.
Don't do that again, and do this a lot more, right? So you're just picking up what other people are giving. And it's not all about, like, how many likes are you going to get today?
Right.
Who
It's not
cares?
about that at
Just
all.
as long as you're being present, and that's something that I learned a lot, and I was so afraid to put everything, like, it just needs to be this perfect post, because
Exactly.
real estate isn't very exciting to a lot of people. Who cares who sold what house? But honestly, now it's just like, as long as you're being present, that's what it's about.
I think you're right. It's being present and being consistent,
Mm-hmm.
because like what happens is my posts might not get a lot of likes or necessarily a lot of traffic, but if someone is wanting a painter, or someone says, hey, I need a painter, often just because of the consistency in which we post, that kind of alerts someone, oh yeah, hey, I know someone that's doing painting. I've seen that post. I've liked that page. So it really has to do with, I think, the consistency, the persistence. Don't you
Bingo.
think that's a huge
Like,
piece
you
of this?
nailed it, 100%. Yeah, that's it.
So it's like being willing to do the things you're uncomfortable to do.
Mhm.
Okay, and you're going to do some of those things, and then you're going to realize, wow, that did not work. This is not the approach I should take. But the point is that you try it. You have to try it before you figure that out.
Mhm.
And then from there, once you do kind of find some sort of routine, for me early on, it was posting on Facebook. You do that consistently, eventually it pays off, I think.
Absolutely. That's how I got my business in the beginning. I know we've talked about social media before, but it was just me posting open houses that I were holding for other agents in my office, not even for myself.
Right.
Or walkthroughs that I was going on for other people, not even for myself. So it was just getting that vibe out there of having that success.
Tilly, you know what? You're actually bringing up a really important topic. And I think that this could also be something that would help someone gain a following, gain clients, is just what the value you can provide, right, without necessarily getting a job. So you just said that you were hosting for other agents.
So you got to do stuff for free, man.
Totally.
You know, like, do that in the beginning a lot. I would do 2 open houses a day sometimes, an open house at least every weekend, if not Saturday and Sunday.
And these weren't for like your properties.
These are not for my properties, they were for others, and that was just for me to see if I can find a buyer at them, if I can gain clients myself, and that worked out really well for me. And also that's for me to get experience
Absolutely.
and to build rapport with other agents in my office, right?
Absolutely.
So what am I was getting no money. Actually, I was spending quite a bit, because I would buy refreshments for the open house and advertise and do things like that. But for me, it was just worth it to learn and say, like, hey, I'm another person that will be in this office to help you.
Right.
So in the future, when I need things, they would find me to be a good, coworker.
Totally. Yeah, and we've done some things like that, like early on, really even before I could afford to do this, we would do kind of some like free painting, if you will. We worked at the Delaware County Women's Shelter, and you do things like that, and you do it really, I mean, I think the best way to do it is without the intent of what can I get from this, because I think that kind of screws up
Right.
the whole approach. But when you do those things, and it, for me, I mean, I'd be paying for paint out of my pocket, and it would really be at a time when I literally
Couldn't
did not
do it,
think
yeah.
I could afford it. But those things come back tenfold. So, just being willing to try and put yourself out there, help in whatever way you can, I personally think ends up coming back to you in ways you would have never imagined.
Well, I've always, before I was in the career I am in now, I cared a lot about money. And that was when I was working for other people. And now it's so funny, because I'm like, I don't care about money. Money will come when the right things happen.
Right.
And I've never had that mentality before, but I've honestly just, it's completely changed where I straight up, I'm like, I don't care. Money is not the object here.
Right.
It's more of that I'm happy, we're providing value for other people, and that will come naturally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which
I
is so
totally believe that.
refreshing.
It is, and I think when you're getting started though, that's hard, because you're literally counting your dollars, in some cases your quarters,
Yeah.
maybe even nickels.
Sure.
But in the beginning, it's hard to do that. I mean, I remember in the beginning, like, I couldn't afford a logo. I could not, anything that I had to have money out of my pocket just could not happen.
Yeah.
And the thing that I see some startups trying to do, and you know, I'm talking kind of like your solopreneur, people who are really just trying to get something off the ground, sometimes their focus is on the wrong things. I know when you get started, you think you need a logo, you need a website, you need all of these things, which are super important today, right? But there is a way to get started without putting money into those things in the beginning, at least I think.
Oh, yeah, get started without putting money into those things, or find different ways that you can maybe help somebody that involves your current services to, you know, whether it be trade or something along those lines. But honestly, I can't tell you how much branding is important. So when you say in the beginning, you know, maybe you don't need a logo, but I would just say think about everything you can do, because I understand monetarily it might not be a good time, but like branding is it.
It is important for I think what I do. It's what's important is that you show up on time, that you complete the work, you follow through with what you said you're going to do. Nobody really cares about my
your
logo.
Name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But at a certain point, once you kind of establish that clientele, you know, you've got things up and running, then of course I think the branding kicks in. What I just see are people focusing on that when they should be focusing on getting their first client.
Right.
Because if you don't have that client,
stop spending time making a pretty website and go out and get some business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is the more uncomfortable thing to do, right?
Of course. Yeah, of course you'd rather sit at home on your computer next to your cute dog and a glass of wine or 3 and do that.
Right.
But no.
How's that website going to turn out after 3 glasses of wine?
Fluffy'sparty.com.
So the other thing you and I have talked a lot about is once you gain your client, then what, right? So I think getting the clients, the first few clients are so hard because of the things we've talked about. But what I have really learned is that once you gain the client and you can, you know, exceed their expectations, you know, you provide them what they're expecting you to provide, they end up really working for you because they become your referral.
Yeah, but here's my question for you.
Yes.
Do you stay present in your client's world after you complete your job with them?
Yes, and that's a big one right there. So what I call that, and I got this from a group that I belong to, is top of mind. So the way that we do that is we'll send out, you know, cards periodically. We'll send emails. There are a variety of different things that we will do to remind them who we are, right? So that 6 months down the road, they remember, oh yeah, No Drip Painting.
Yeah.
I try and friend all of them on Facebook. So then, I try and get all of them to like the No Drip Painting page, and so they're seeing those posts. But that is super important, and that right there is huge on generating leads down the road.
Right, because
do you do that?
Oh, so much. It's huge for us, for our team. So basically, what we're doing is you need to stay top of mind. There's over 8,000 real estate agents in Columbus and surrounding suburbs. So why next time when their friend at the office is saying, "Hey, I'm going to start looking for a house soon," they really need to remember your name. So how are they going to do it, right?
Yeah,
and then you want them to say something. We have quarterly touches that we do. So those are going basically it could be small things. It could just be a card to say happy birthday.
Right.
It can be a congratulations if they're having something go on in their life that we might see on social media, like an engagement or something along those lines. It also can be for fall, like a cookie delivery. We do things like that. Then every season kind of has a little something.
Right.
So what we're really focusing on is the fact that they've done nothing with us for a year, and they're still getting a little treat or something in the mail from us that says
awesome.
hey, we're thinking about you. We value the business that you've given us in the past.
That's awesome.
And that's top of mind.
Now let me ask
People
you,
will work for you when you do things like that.
Are you the one sending those things out?
That's a really good question. So I have an admin that will help do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But there was probably a time that you were the one doing that.
Oh yeah, Christmas time this past year, it all just changed. Honestly, the last delivery was done by somebody else. Before that, it was all me.
Yep.
And just also me begging my mom for help. and fun stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Staying up until 2-3 a.m. But keeping that top of mind.
Totally. So your current customer base, even in the beginning, it might be just a handful of customers that you've done work for, or you provided some sort of value with. I feel like new business owners, that should be one of their main focuses.
Yes.
And I think if you can develop like a strong process in the beginning where you're sending out something, quarterly or whatever process fits what your industry is, I feel like if you can develop those processes in the beginning, it's easier to keep up with them once you gain more clients, once you have to maybe turn your process over to an admin, like you've been so fortunate to do. I still do a lot of that myself, and I will do that until I get to a certain point, but I think that we really hit something on the head here when we talk about staying top of mind. What I've realized is in the busy season, in the slow season for us, those folks that you've stayed in contact with over the years, they're the ones that keep you floating.
That give you business,
through our slow season.
Absolutely, sure. Because you can get random phone calls all day long with new clients, but what really matters is that someone else took the time to say like, oh, let me find this phone number and give it to you, or let me introduce you via email. That they took time out of their day because they value you and feel like you provided a good service.
Exactly.
So that's the biggest thank you in the world.
And I know for when I get a client from a referral, it's usually a good client.
I know.
Now there might be some times when maybe
it's someone you want to work with,
but it usually, you've had success working with their friend or family member, then often it's a good relationship on the referral piece.
Absolutely. Because if they really like you, they're not going to give you to their Aunt Barb, who just they're like, oh man, she sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah, Michael, I don't even want you to paint her windows.
So let me ask you this. So one thing that I find that young business owners do, they will get involved in expensive services that provide leads for them.
Totally did it.
You did it. And I've done it too.
Tragic.
Which is why we can say not to do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
And in the beginning, you're struggling, you're trying to find that client. You feel like, wow, if I can just pay this money, I have clients sent to me. You think that it's going to help elevate your business, but I feel it does the exact opposite.
Yeah, it honestly, I've been fooled quite a few times by a lot of different companies, and just like it just seems like that shiny object, that pretty star,
yes.
And so easy. But if it's easy, it's not worth it. So that's true.
I think that's the key there.
Yeah.
If it's easy, it ends up not being like an A client, or it ends up being too expensive.
Right.
Right on. Any other stories like that? Do you have like a horror story of a referral from a
I'm not saying it on radio. Are you kidding me? No. Thanks.
I'm not asking you to name any companies.
Right. No, no, but I have paid a lot of money out for leads that haven't generated anything. So.
I've done that too. As a matter of fact, I paid, I think it was like $500 once. This is years ago. But that $500 probably came out of my rent money at the time.
Do you have one thing that you do that is like the best thing to get a client? What do you think? Is it just your excellent service referral?
Well,
or?
and it's taken me a while to get here, but especially with the remodelers I work with, for them and dealing with folks in the painting business in general, the response time isn't usually very good. Mm-hmm. So for example, a remodeler wants a quote on a project, they send you the blueprints or however you're going to bid it out. If you're like a small painting company and if you're the owner and you're still out on job sites every day, it's hard to turn those things around quickly, okay? I was there when I first started. Right. I was a painter. It's hard to turn those things around quickly. So I think one huge piece, and I have to imagine this stretches the realm of all businesses, is your response time and being diligent on your communication, getting back quickly.
People will often be like, wow, you are maybe the third person I've called, but the first person to call me back. Exactly. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's just a normal part of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's you chasing down your work, right?
Yeah.
Like your response time, you getting back to somebody quickly, that's how you're getting your clients.
Hey, Michael, what did you do yesterday? You started a new Facebook for us.
I did.
Yes.
Even though I'm not the guru when it comes to Facebook, we now have a 614Fempreneur Facebook page.
I love it.
And that's so awesome because now we don't have to spell out the email address every time.
Well, yeah,
Because
but
I think you spelled it
I,
wrong once.
thanks for that.
But if you want to contact us,
Sure.
or you're interested in
Excuse
being
me.
in being on the show, you can go to our Facebook page, send us a message.
Yes.
We want female entrepreneurs to join us, have this conversation, and
I'm going to spell it for them right now
Do
for
it.
Facebook. It's 614Fempreneur. Go there
You're
and
getting good.
follow me at Welcome Home 614 on Instagram.
Yep, and you can check out the No Drip Painting Facebook page. And any other.
That's
Value
it.
to
What
add?
a great day.
That was good.
Thank
I like
you.
that. That's awesome.
Let's head out.
All right, you're the best, JKW.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks.
You're so good.
Thanks for joining us at 614 Fempreneur.
Bye.